Hello, Chill Computer Guys. Today we're in Bitwig Studio 2.3.4. I just wanted to do a quick addendum. I did a video a few days ago, and I was talking about the sampler, specifically taking a very long audio wave or an entire song or a long sample and chopping it into smaller sections, specifically the in and out point, and being very meticulous in a very small range. And I had an issue with when I was zooming in, losing my in and out point. For example, I would come down here, get my magnifying glass, and then as I zoomed in, I would have to constantly kind of like, I would lose it, you know, and then I'd be monkeying around in here, and I was getting frustrated. And so I was like, well, there's no way to actually lock the in and out markers to the center of the screen. But I come to find out that there is a little trick to it, and I want to thank Artur Godlewski. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name. I don't know if it's Arthur or Artur Godlewski. He said, what if you click inside the selected range and then use the mouse wheel with control probably? I like this with control probably, question mark, maybe. Now the thing is I was actually try that. Whenever I can't figure out how to do something, I always click on the Control and the Alt, the modifier keys. They're called modifier keys because they're taking basic functions and they're adding some modifications. And so what I did is when I was zooming in and out using this technique, I was holding down Control. Nah, that doesn't work. I was holding down Alt. I was even holding down Shift, and none of that was working. Well, the problem was I was holding down Control and Shift while the magnifying glass was visible. In other words, I was on this little slider. The trick is to actually be up in the audio waveform. So you have an arrow icon, and then you hold Control. But you got to use the mouse wheel. Now, if you don't have a mouse with a wheel, you might want to use a trackpad. I actually own a trackpad, but I just don't use it just because I find the mouse faster. I'm basically too lazy to acclimate to a trackpad or to learn a trackpad or to get, I guess, good at it. So if you use your mouse wheel, again, if you hold Control down here, it wasn't working for me. You know, again, I'm losing the focus of the in and out markers. If I hold Alt, I'm losing the in and out markers. But what I didn't realize is you don't want the magnifying glass to be visible. You actually want to be up in the audio waveform. And if you are, look at that. Look at that. It actually keeps your in and out marker right there. And it'll actually center it for you there. Not only that, but if you hold on the Alt, you can actually move it a very small amount. And that works in the small sampler, and it also works full screen. Where I was screwing up is I was hitting Control Alt when my magnifying glass was visible, and that, of course, was not working for me. Now what you want to do is wherever your arrow is at, if you hold down Control and use your mouse wheel, it will center, it will basically anchor that point in the waveform down and then zoom everything around it. But again, if you're down here and the magnifying glass is displayed, you would think that's where the Control and Alt modifier keys would actually function, but that in fact is not. You actually have to be up in the waveform and you have to have the pointer tool. Then if you hold Control and use your mouse wheel, you can zoom right in on that. And I mean, you can put your arrow right on the endpoint and it will zoom right in. Beautiful. Not only that, if you go to the Alt modifier key, you can actually move along the waveform in very small little clicks there. And again, I have to use the mouse wheel. Okay, if you use the up and down, that's not going to work. You have to use the actual mouse wheel. Okay. Very cool, very handy, very useful. But if you put your arrow in the waveform, use your mouse wheel, you can zoom in nice and tidy to your endpoint and get very meticulous with your with the start and end of your sample. So, quick little addendum, and thank you again for the comment, and thank you for kind of opening my eyes to that. I actually figured there was no way to center your in and out points on the screen while zooming, but in fact there is. Again, to do it, you have to go up into the wave, make sure your arrow icon is displayed, hold down Control, and use your mouse wheel. And that's the way to do it. And again, that works in the little display or the main big display up here. Wherever that arrow's at, if you hold control, it will anchor that down and then zoom around. Now, if you use your other modifier key, your Alt key, and your mouse wheel, it will scroll a very, very small amount to the right or left. Again, just wanted to chime in. If you find yourself using the sampler a lot to cut large loops into smaller loops, you'll find this technique and this shortcut very, very useful for you. All right. Thanks again. Now, chill, computer guy. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Give a thumbs up. Tell a friend about the channel. Remember, this isn't for beginners or experts. It's for everybody. Any other tips? Always leave tips in the comments because, you know, I'm learning as well as everybody else is learning. Little tips and tricks help everybody. So thank you again. Chill, computer guy. We'll see you guys again. Bye-bye now.